Quiet Place was directed by John Krasinski from The Office, which stars him and his wife in real life, Emily Blunt. This movie centers around a family in the aftermath of an invasion. These creatures have come up from out of nowhere. They're very sound sensitive. If you make the slightest sound, they will rush and find you. These are really fast creatures, and they can hear anything from a distance. So this family has to live in a lifestyle where they have to be quiet 100% of the time. They can't talk, they have to use sign language to communicate. This movie was really interesting and different, and really good. I've never really experienced a movie like this where there's not a whole lot of sound. There is sound, but there's barely any whatsoever. Going in the movie theaters, I question whether or not I should tell you guys to go see this movie in the movie theaters or just to wait till it comes out on Blu-ray. It's a really good movie. But the problem is with me is I get really annoyed when I'm watching something and you can hear the slightest thing in a movie theater, like somebody rummaging through their popcorn or picking up their drink. I'm very sensitive like that. I never really have to go through anything like that because there's always sound or music in a movie. But this movie's really quiet. There is audio, but there's not a whole lot. You could hear a pen drop in this movie theater. There's not a whole lot of sounds, there's not really a lot of lines, and that's another reason why I really love the movie. Not just because of the movie itself, but the movie kind of forces you as an audience to be quiet. And I've never really experienced anything like that, and I really love the concept as well. We all know John Krasinski from The Office, but I think he's a really damn good director in this. I think he really trusts the audience in trying to interpret how this family is surviving, how they gained all the necessary things to survive. You see that they are trying to limit their sounds by putting sand everywhere for them to walk on. You also see through the majority of the family members that a lot of them already knew sign language due to the deaf daughter in the family. And what I really appreciate about John Krasinski's direction is he is completely aware of the show and don't tell rule. There's a rule that is presented in film school where a movie is most successful when it shows and it doesn't tell. A lot of films go downhill because they rely on heavy dialogue and narration to explain its plot, but a lot of other films are very successful because they show their story. And I think this is a perfect example of a show and don't tell story. He leaves it up to the audience to figure out how this family is surviving from these creatures and how they're feeling as well. This movie perfectly portrays that each family member is going through something. I love that about this film. It never felt like a family member was just there to be there. It felt like each person was going through something. During the film, Emily Blunt gets pregnant and they have to figure out a way to deliver the baby without causing any sound. And you can only imagine how hard that sounds. Just let that sink in a little bit. And I think it was also really smart for John Krasinski to have his own wife in this film because that's also really believable. It really does seem like this is an actual family. You see them interacting and you see that they all have their problems. The kids in this film are also really good. They actually decided to cast a mute actress for this role of the deaf girl in the family. And I think they made a right choice here because you see through this film that she wants to hear and it upsets her that she doesn't have that ability. It was a perfect choice to cast her and she did an amazing job. This was perfect for her. The young girl in this film also has a story. She feels really guilty about something, and she feels as though her father resents her for that, which is obviously not the case. And even the son in this film did a really good job. The son fears the creatures. He is afraid to make the slightest sound whatsoever, but John Krasinski, his dad in the movie, comes in and says, it's okay to make a little bit of sounds as long as there's other sound around you. And I also really enjoyed John Krasinski in this film. He's an amazing father in this, and I just really enjoyed his performance, and he shines in this role. Honestly, I think this is one of the best roles that he's had thus far, and everyone else is doing a really good job. And it's amazing that there is such a lack of dialogue in this film, and I'm able to label these people as characters. The creature in this film is also really cool. Not gonna go into spoilers exactly as to what this creature looks like, but I love what they do with this creature and showcasing how it's able to hear, and just the horrific imagery of what this thing actually looks like. If you guys saw my review to Cloverfield, you guys know that when I saw that monster for the first time, I was amazed as to seeing this monster on the big screen. It was kind of the same effect when I saw the creatures in this film. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool looking. If they made a toy for that, I'd totally buy it. I love the design of the creatures. It's very similar to other creatures in horror films, but I thought it was really cool. There are some things that are gonna bother audience members. A lot of the things pertain to how the family gets some of the things that they have to survive, like the sand, for example. How are they able to find all this sand to just put on the floor for them to walk on? How do they have this underground basement where they have all this radio stuff? I think the film somehow tells you how they have all this stuff. There are newspapers and writings on the wall that the audience can read. And that's another thing that I like about this film is it makes you pay attention. It forces the audience to pay attention to their surroundings. You have to really look into what's going on and read a lot of the stuff that's presented because there's not a whole lot of dialogue. It's a show and tell kind of movie. And that's what I love about it. So yes, guys, I absolutely loved A Quiet Place. I totally recommend it. However, if you're one of those people who are very sensitive to sound while watching a film, maybe you should wait until this comes out on Blu-ray. I don't know. But it's such an interesting experience just to hear what exactly is going on in the movie theater while you're watching a film. Maybe someone's eating popcorn. Maybe someone's drinking or slurping too hard. Maybe someone's Pee-wee Herming in the background. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then Google's a thing. Definitely check this film out, guys. It's really good. Comment down below what you thought of A Quiet Place if you've seen it yet. Like the video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't yet for more movie reviews, trailer reactions, and gaming content. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.